Yeah. So, get him. What up? What up? What up? Holla, holla, holla. I'm a beast with this shit. Put you all to sleep in this bitch. Yeah, she gon' get weak in this bitch. I don't care if she get sleep in this bitch. Grind time. It's a fine time. Grind, man. Get in where you fit in. Desi, what's up? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. MVPs, man. I fuck with y'all the long way. If you don't know it by now, you know it now, man. Facts, man. Without you guys' support, we wouldn't be shit, man. Let's speak that for real. We about to get ready to get started, man. Get so retarded, man. I'm so heartless, man. God damn, though. And I'm sitting on the acre of that land, though. And I'm smoking on that gram of that ham, though. And I'm chilling and I'm looking pretty good. With that bitch off in the woods, taking off her clothes, right? I hit her with that long pipe. Tell that bitch to have a long night. Facts. We about to get ready to get started, man. I ain't even know nobody had messaged me on my other page. So I'm gonna handle that in a minute. Let's go ahead and get to the live screen. Yeah. So we back like Cook Crack in the 80s, right? That's right. Yeah, that's right. Let me switch pages real quick. There's probably a little man calling my ass. What's going on, everybody watching, man? What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? While this loading up, won't goddamn call nephew back. I know he called me. See what he got going on. Oh, he ain't off. He ain't off. He'll probably call me back though. He's like, Uncle Dre call. He's like, Uncle Dre call. Yeah. Turn up, turn up, turn up. Check, brother. All hundreds. Check on the motherfucker, please. You know exactly what a motherfucker needs. Hey, so listen, this is what we're gonna do, right? We loading up, man. We on the road to 2,000 followers. It's been a long journey, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We had, I think, 12, 16 or something like that. So man, shout out to all y'all, man. For real. I couldn't have did it without you.
Safe area.
Don't think nothing else of it, cause it ain't really what it is. Don't let nobody tell you different. So ain't nobody wanna do shit on road. Ain't nobody wanna do nothing on Heroic. Hold on.
backup request.
Yeah, my bad. Had to handle something real quick. There's always some shit to handle though, really. If you ain't handling nothing, what you doing? What you doing? You wasting time doing that. I ain't doing that. Alright, let's go ahead and get started though. This shit right here talking about some matchmaking for heroic, but ain't nobody trying to pop off and do shit, you dig? I know what I am about to do. I'm about to figure out why the fuck I don't sound as loud as I want it in my headset. But it's probably because I took off a filter. Mic check, mic check. There we go. Yep. I took that damn gain filter. I took my filter off. Yep, but now you can hear me a little bit better. And that's going to be critical because when I start getting into gameplay and shit like that, you'll see why. Wait, hold on. I'm supposed to be in tier 5, right? Okay, I'm tripping. So why ain't nobody doing this? Nobody doing no heroic missions, man. Everybody a bitch. God damn. I can't with people, man. Check on the motherfucker, please. Now, bitch, in the amount of money that I got friends on playing this shit right now. Let go. Straight up. We getting it in. It's time to go. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Welcome to the show, cause it's time to go. Barbecue, chicken, or grits? Is you really with the shits? Fuck you talking about? Okay, that fixed that. Cause there was a 2/10 of a second delay in my vocals and me hearing them, so I know it was a delay in you guys hearing them. So I fixed that real fast. Got that out of the way, and trying to get some action. Time for some action. Time for some action.
Black Tusk has taken over the memorial to control access to the bridge. Get them out of there.
I don't even know why you did that, ho. I don't even know why you did that. Plain ass up, Merc. Plain ass up, Merc.
Watch your fire, drone in the air!
That bitch running. I popped his ass anyway.
Enemy helicopter approaching.
Get yourself ready, Agent.
This is where it's about to get fun. Pull out my motherfucking assault rifle real quick. Fire the ass up, boss. Motherfucker trying to flank and shit, right? That shit ain't cool, cuz. That shit is not cool, cuz. That shit is not cool, cuz. Get your shit wrecked, dog. Your shit wrecked, dog. Wreck time. Yeah, bitch. Caught that shot, did you? Here go the big boys. This is my favorite part right here. I get to take out the big boys, show you how this rifle. No, it ain't come yet. Where the fuck the big boy?
Circle around to the flank.
Look at that. Marksman rifle, assault rifle. That is a piece there. That is a piece there. I don't know if I'm going to utilize that piece, but it's there. It's there just in case I don't need to roll something off of it or anything. You never know. You never know. Again, shout out to everybody watching right now on whatever platform you're watching now. Shout out to all our Facebook watchers right now, man. Welcome to the show, man. I don't know what these guys are doing, but I'm trying to get to the next part of the mission. Yeah. So they didn't already see buddy over there popping it off by itself on heroic, brother. Niggas is not playing. I got you though, cuz. Promise I got you. I'm firing niggas up off the jump. Firing niggas up off the jump. Throwing them goddamn nades at it, bro. Not for your motherfucking ass. Oh, don't get down. Shit was all good just a week ago. Missed 3 out of 4.
Target coming up the side.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah. I ain't got no worries. That's fine that you killed my boss, bitch. Bussin', son. Can't do nothing with me. Where bro down there? Oh, way over there? You know why he down? Cause that fucking warhound over there ain't playing no games, son. That bitch running around like a greyhound and shit. Look at that nigga. Now he gonna come at me now. Watch you gonna? No, he ain't at me yet.
There are more targets past the gate.
Sliced bread with that thing through his face though. I ain't even know if he was in his place though. But it's guaranteed it's in his face though. You heard that squishy sound. Squishy. What level am I? This character right here, this is my second character. The gear score on this character is 469 right now. Those are the stats, my armor, my health and shit. Yeah, it look a little crazy, but if you look at my stats, all my weapon talents and all that, that shit benefits me as far as damage, especially that rifle at 24%. Yeah, it definitely benefits me. Then I got like I want to say like 75% damage to elite. And like I said, this is my second character. I've been just kind of more or less doing a rifle and assault rifle build with this particular character, simply because I wanted the damage. And then I did a second character more or less to see what the drops would look like for different characters if you had different characters, because you got to remember there's a drop percentage for different things. And if you keep that in mind, you can kind of grind a little bit throughout different characters. And I found pieces of gear or stats that I haven't seen on my other character, on this character, you know what I'm saying? So goddamn bow and arrow in this bitch with them seekers, with them boys the sleepers, jeepers creepers. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, bitch. Bet you don't want to do it. Sliced bread. No, you ain't. You better not touch that fucking gun. Bet you won't touch that fucking gun.
System disrupted.
Coming around.
No more contact.
Good. Head in and secure the underground.
Like I said, you're not gonna touch that gun. And we playing on heroic. I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this since I got to level 30 and got up to my tiers. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting to go. I've been waiting to do my missions on heroic. Get better gear. Alright. Load it up. And I also took the Diamondback that I got from my other character and put it on this character merely because I'm doing assault rifle. And she doesn't disappoint at all. somewhere. The fucking door we have to open. Look at that shit. I only picked up 2 rifle ammo. Did we get rid of that shit? I think we did. Got your ass, bitch. I got that bitch. Alright, I feel you, dog. Burning them bitches alive. That's what they doing. Don't do it, bro. Just show your fuck ass don't do it. Bet. I'm getting up.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube too, Oliver. It's official Southern RPG because they messed up my last one. They messed up my last page on YouTube, so it's official Southern RPG. It will have the same. It will have my same logo and design and everything like that, so you'll know it's the right page.
You see this?
An agent needs assistance.
Where y'all at? I see y'all motherfuckers trying to flank us though. Well, that's a lot of. Oh yeah, that's a lot of motherfuckers back here with him.
Who was that?
That was me. Triple OG, bitch. Fuck wrong with you? Bitch ass sleep. You ain't know, now you know. I'm here so you can hit the flow. When I put this assault rifle, that shit say go. Oh!
Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent down.
Yeah. Yeah, agent down. You know why agent down? Agent put his face up.
Coming up the flank.
You're not coming up shit. Bitch ass. Let me get down, bro. Oh my fucking god, this shit's retarded. Hit who? First off, I ain't no bitch, bro. Oh!
Serious
Why I
trauma
ain't waiting to
detected.
reload?
Agent incapacitated.
Some humbug.
Agent deceased.
I probably should have waited to reload before I just, you know what I'm saying, went off on him and shit, but I was ready to go in on something, man. I ain't even gonna cap. They had already had everybody on the team down. I bet, bruh. Let me know if you can't find it or not. I'll put the link in the jank. As a matter of fact, I ain't even gonna grind with this character. I'm gonna grind with my main character. I'm more effective with my main character because I ain't got my gear where I wanted on my second character. Even though I got a lot of rifle damage, assault rifle damage, and weapon damage, I want to get it up a little bit more. So let's go over to the fucking Don Dada, really. You know what I'm saying? Let's go over to the Don Dada one time. Alright, 1 second. Let me link that real quick. Let me head over there. I'm going to do that on my celly real quick. Right there. Share. I just want to copy the link. Alright, I'm already in that chain right here. Here's the link for the official YouTube right here. Well, this is actually the link for this particular stream on our YouTube page, but that is the link to our YouTube page. Alright, so this is the heavy kid. He ain't necessarily, I would say, too heavy because armor ain't shit, health ain't shit. That's just my ongoing build. Let's switch out to my True Patriot. And this is what I usually grind with because of my DTE. And then like all my debuffs on the team where I'm usually playing with. This is the team I usually farm with. I mean, the player I usually farm with, the gear set I usually wear. So seeing that everything had already reset, let's go ahead and get it popping. Yeah, let's grind. We're grinding for some things for the second character. If it ain't really armor, assault rifle, or rifle damage, we don't really want it. Or health, we don't really want it if it ain't one of them four. And we're just grinding for the next character. I don't even really want a gear set on that character. You know what I'm saying? Now, when they come out with the different gear sets on TU6, that updated stuff that's coming in a few weeks, then that's neither here nor there. I'll modify as I need to. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it's probably good. I did start a new character like a couple weeks before they launched it, simply because it'll make it easier for me to adjust. Seeing that I have like loadouts over here. You know what I'm saying? I have like different things I can do. You know what I'm saying? Even though what I want to do is really take this build right here and send this build to my other player.
You have been promoted to group leader.
I want to send it to my other player. 35% all weapons damage, 30% assault rifle damage, 10% LMG damage, 25% rifle damage, 89% damage to elites. Now, if this ain't a farming build, well, if this ain't like I'm sorry, not a farming build, but if this ain't like somewhat of a damage for like raids, something is wrong. Because I've heard everything over 90% kind of gets a buff on the DTE. Now, I would want to have more armor damage, probably less marksman rifle, because I don't use a marksman rifle with this build. No SMG, but that's something I'm working on, and I could probably swing that with what I have on my other character. Leader. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, let me get out of the damn dodge zone.
Another agent has joined your group.
Hey Oliver, how's it looking over there on the tube?
Do not leave the campus unarmed. If you haven't had firearms training yet, we can provide an escort, but do not go out alone.
I can somewhat hear the TV, but I don't really want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let Brad get all the way over there. I'll fast travel to him. I ain't even gonna cap. Hey, I put the link. I put the link in the Facebook video, big bro. That'll take you. That'll take you straight to this stream on our page, on our official YouTube page. Yeah, we also have a Twitch, and we also simultaneously stream to Mixer as well. So, if you follow us on whatever platform you gonna follow us on, we will follow you back. We do not discriminate against returning the favor. Appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna head over there in a few minutes and make sure I return that. Matter of fact, let me see something. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna pull up a new screen. Let's go to YouTube. Alright, so we're doing alright. Is this it? Switch. Switch! Switch accounts. I didn't log in over here. Alright, hold on. Alright, let me see. That's one thing I gotta do. I gotta go over. I really need to adjust my settings on my YouTube. That's what I really need to do.
Another agent has joined your group.
Grind. Need to set my shit back up. I gotta log in on my computer.
Drinking water nearby.
I wish I had a cigarette.
That's one thing I gotta do is I gotta log in. See, I just sold my my Chromebook. My Chromebook was doing all of my monitoring for like my comments and stuff like that.
An
But
agent needs assistance.
what the fuck is he doing? Them boys down there getting that ass whack. Whack, 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 wacky. Load up. Am I loaded up? Yeah, I'm loaded up.
Black Tusk have infiltrated the bunker and have sent the digital forensic team to dig through the old Shade network hub. We have to shut them down.
Goddamn drones! Find him!
You're on the wrong side of this block. Sacrifice all that for the moment. Squad up. So bring your elite head ass up like yeah, rock steady that ass, bitch. One second, y'all. Trying to log in to my YouTube. Fat boy. That's who I want right there. I be anticipating seeing these fat fuckers. No, don't run, bitch. Find me. Assault rifle damage. Tickling off the chain. Then I got that 30% on the bottom side of the clip. Extra damage. So I'm already doing a ridiculous amount of damage, yo. And I got Ranger. I don't have Ranger on my shot. I just got Measure. If I did have Ranger and fucking Measure, that shit would be hard. Fucking got him. What you doing, bro? Shit, what the fuck am I doing? See, that's how a brother go down right there. That's how a brother go down right
Agent
there.
killed. Agent down.
That's how a brother go down right now. I ain't even tripping. That's my own damn whatever the hell my character was doing, y'all. Because I didn't intentionally do that shit. So don't let nobody tell you different. Let's spectate, shall we? See who doing what. Let's synchronize the view. Like somebody about to pick anything up. Man, we on the road to 2,000 followers, man. We are at some point trying to gain that right to become a partner with Facebook, man. The more help we get from the public, the better. I ain't gonna lie. The reason I would like to be like a partner is so I could give back more. You know what I'm saying? Be able to just like do things more for the community. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see that glitch? I ain't got no more. I ain't. Oh, hold up. I ain't got no weapons in my. No bullets in my weapon side. That's what it say. Hold on, man. Jump the shit, bro. And then it would allow me to like extend different things, man. Do different contests, little neat things, man, that I've been wanting to do. It takes a little more to do certain things. But I definitely would love the support, man, so I could give the support back. You know what I mean? Okay, and shout out to everybody watching right now, man. MVPs right now. Y'all are the MVPs Don't let nobody tell y'all different. I hope everybody day went good.
Clear the area
And all
outside
that
the
shit
bunker
like that.
entrance.
Just ready for that. Where you going? Huh? Wait. Check. Run it. Oh. Watch me hit this Warhound with that thing. Hit that Warhound with that thing, baby. That 30%. And then the bottom half of that clip turns into 60%. So when I'm hitting the target, the bottom of my clip is 60% damage on my assault rifle. Y'all ain't hearing me. 60%. That shit hurts, man. That shit hurts. That shit hurts, man. Oh God, shit be hurt. Shit be hurt. Big dude about to feel me though. I felt you though. I felt you, mom. I felt you. 103. I'm doing 103. Feels good to be me. Something for your motherfucking ass. Yep, I think. Fire that ass. Fire though. Down. Look when y'all try to take a brother out. Get your punk ass down. What the fuck you doing? Right over here. Fire squad. Fire no. I know what I need this bitch. Gonna pull out that motherfucking assault rifle, boy. This bitch ain't no joke. What you doing, bud? What you doing? Huh? Huh? What you doing? Over here doing stupid shit like that. That's why your ass dead. See about that motherfucker up top. Pull everybody into the bag. Heavy, another elite, hurt don't it? I felt you. Don't worry, I felt you, bro. Calm down. Yeah. Yeah, run. Run, fat boy. Fuck. Ah.
Serious trauma detected.
Ah, you motherfuckers. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Ah. You wanna go to jail, you wanna go home? Pick me up, Sergeant Too Nice. Appreciate it. Dark Angel picked her brother up. We're gonna just pick everything up. We ain't gonna look at nothing right now. We're gonna just pick everything up. Cause the sole purpose of this farming for me is basically farming for shit for my second character. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I ain't doing nothing else. But what I am wearing is I'm wearing the raid shit.
Download complete.
I ain't got a lot of armor. I ain't got a lot of health. But I'm chewing through shit with that assault rifle. And that weapons damage bonus 35%. Then I get a 60% on the bottom side of my clip. I'm dangerous, man. I'm dangerous. Like this shit stacking. This shit stacking and maxing, moving and grooving, son. First off, we ain't gonna get a beat on shit, son. Beat this. We ain't beating shit over here, son. Everything getting fucked up. Take that. Bitch, oh, hold on. That's my dog. That's my dog. Fuck me. My brother is not stupid, though. Oh, God. Oh, brother is not stupid. Y'all might have did that for the moment. I'm coming though. I'm coming. Fuck it. Fuck it. Ain't no need to trip by it, right? Ain't no need to be a bitch, man. I'm out this motherfucking little screen, man. You know what I mean? Wow. That ain't gonna work, but you too far back. Oh!
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Word, somebody right here with a brother. Oh, that is motherfucking lovely. Excuse my French. Shit cool down. I'm gonna change my shit. I'm gonna change my shit on this character, and it ain't gonna be well. It depends on what the loadout is, on what the goddamn what the actual skill is. But I'm gonna put the hive. That's gonna pick me up. That way I ain't got to worry about nobody picking me up. I ain't got no skill power, so it ain't gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't gonna matter. This is just merely me taking on damage. I don't give a fuck about nothing else but wrecking shit. That's it. That's all we doing. Just wrecking shit. Getting our numbers up. Playing this shit how it's supposed to be played. Get laid how we supposed to get laid. We ain't afraid to take on another day. Barbecue, Mildew, chicken, and grits. Big boy wasn't with the shits. Sit your motherfucking ass down. That bitch do something over here. Yeah. You do something over. You do something over here. I'm gonna throw something back. So I got the angle like I'm a contractor, bitch. Ain't nobody running though. The fire everywhere. Ain't but so much running you can do, bitch. Ain't but so much fire. Ain't so much running you can do, man. Ain't so much running. Ain't but so much running you can do, man. Telling you. Boy, lit that ass up, man. Hold on, I need to bring my comments for you. I ain't worried about the motherfuckers up there too much. That's why. Pick your head up. Stick your fucking head up, pussy. See how good you is. Got one up top. Two up top. Yeah. Yep. You felt one too many bullets. Shit was real. Come on, I need to put that bit right there. Right, bitch. That bitch running too. That bitch running. Ass metal run. You know what's good for him? Look at him. This bitch came back. Motherfucker. You ain't got shit. I swear he thought he had me. He came back on you, boy. They were like, oh, yeah, I right here, sir. Okay. Stay your ass right there, Chino. Oh, another thing I like about the update is you're gonna be able to share like stuff, like your equipment, like supplies and shit, like all your little shit you need. Just the resources I meant to say. Right up, Jump Street, 21. Killed him too fast. We killed him too fast, y'all. Murder. It's heroic too now. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Murder. Boy over here fucking with beef. Like he worked for USDA, you know what I'm saying? I ain't using the right weapon. That's what that is. I ain't using the right fucking weapon. Watch this shit. Put your head up. Alright, that'll work. Y'all ain't gonna do shit. Right? Okay. What's going on, folks? Secrets with Dum Dum. Did he? Boy, bust my fucking head, boy. Boy, bust my shit. White meat status just now, boy. I wasn't even ready for that shit. I ain't even kept. I wasn't ready for that shit. Look at, I'm standing right here, Warhammer. My bad, bro. Somebody hit me with the health shake just now. Hold the fuck up, Cletus. I mean, I can work a little bit. Don't fucking tease me with a good goddamn term. Don't stick your head up. You know what we here for. You know why we here. Oh, you did. You know why we here for. You know why we here. Oh, you did. You know what we here for. You know why we here. You know what we here for. You know why we here. 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 You know Boy, Seeker is dumb right now. Yeah, they below me. I'm taking them motherfuckers out of reasonable fashion. Oh, where you going? Where the big boy is at? Here they go. This is what I want right here, son. Right there, son. White meat, pink. Again, I'm just picking shit up, yo. Shout out to everybody who reacts to the video, man. Appreciate the love. Kind of intense moment when you playing heroic missions, man. You can't just call them out by name. But I'm about to show some love, though. Shit, shout out to Pedro, Garrett, Oliver, Desi, and Rozzy, man. Appreciate y'all for reacting on the video, man. Facts. Alright, where the fuck I gotta go? Wait. Oh, here we go. Goddamn dog. I saw it there. Get big boy down first. Hit him with Thor's hammer real quick. Fuck you, bitch! And I still haven't changed to my hive yet. I need to, though. I really need to. I'm like squishy, but I hit. So it's like, I need that. Look at that, bruh picking the brother up. Rat now. No, it ain't. Alright, hold on.
Serious trauma detected. Agent down. Agent killed. Download complete.
They've been correlating our data with their own to form takedown plans on all the factions in the city. They're really moving fast on this. There should be more activity deeper in the bunker. Stay alert, Agent.
Electronic device detected.
Watch out.